Hello, it's the Phebe Swill platform, and today on my show we're celebrating a Sierra Leonean that is doing so well and so good by dedicating his time and his expertise and services to the country. We're getting to know Dr. Owiz Koroma today on my show. Dr. Owiz Koroma, thank you very much for being on my
It's a pleasure having me on your show.
Thank you for coming. He is actually the pathologist in the country. Dr. Owiz, before we get to talk about your job as a pathologist, talking about pathology and all that, let's get to know who Dr. Owiz Koroma is. We know you're a Sierra Leonean. Beyond that, what more can we know about you?
Oh, well, I hail from the north. I'm a Limba by tribe.
Who Limbanai?
No. So people always feel that I'm a Creole. Well, yes.
Perhaps it's the way you carry yourself?
No, well, not necessarily, but my father is a Limba on the paternal side, all Limbas. I'm from village Mankure.
Okay.
Just 1.5 miles from Binkolo. I'm a Safroko Limba. You say Safroko, but we say Saroko. And so that's where I hail from. My mom is Creole, paternal lineage, but her mom is a Mendi from Solima, Cream. So I'm Limba, Creole, Cream, Mendi. So
oh, well, so you're a bunch of everything.
Limba, I speak Limba, Creole, and Mendi, of course.
So where did you grow up?
I grew up in McKinney, actually, my village, just 7 miles down the road.
What school did you go to?
I went to the Our Lady of Fatima primary school. That's in McKinney, purely Catholic school. And then I was very lucky. People say I'm smart. So
people say you are. What do you say?
Well, I spent about 3.5 years primary school, and I found myself in secondary school, and that was the WM Collegiate School.
Oh, collegiate. Okay. So, in school, who was the young Owiz Koroma growing up? What kind of a student would you say you were back then?
Well, I was the complete all-rounder. I would say that I was in sports. I played cricket for Sierra Leone. I ran for Sierra Leone. I played football, the best 6 you'll ever have in this nation. And many people know that. I'm Tistas, Blackpool, and Sierra Leone.
So how come you didn't end up being a player in Leone Stars? Rather, you're a pathologist.
No. Well, I played for Sierra Leone, but I had to do something else.
Wow.
Something
you played
better.
for Leone Stars?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
When?
Oh, during my time, in the 60s.
Where were you playing? I know
it's midfield 6. When you say 6,
midfield, attack, defense.
Well, sometimes away I do.
Don't mind me. I'm so not a football person. So.
Attacking midfield, but when I'm home, I'm always the very defensive midfield player. But outside, I play offensively, and that's attacking midfield. And it was then I score goals. But at home, it was purely defensive. Yes, because it was great. I love football, and I still follow football, and I'm happy.
So in
Generally, I'm the go-go man. I'm happy with myself. I care less what people think.
Wow, that's a good life.
Yes.
Being happy with yourself.
So, very much so.
That's a good life. Dr. Owiz, which university did you go to?
I went to Phebe College.
What did you study there?
Sciences, maths, physics, chemistry, and I combined zoology and botany to biology. And then I left actually on an exchange program. There was a chap who wanted to do geology, and I wanted to do medicine. From the University of Odessa he came, and I left Phebe College. I went there to read medicine. So in those days you had those type of contacts, connections, and so forth. It was the all-round. I could go anywhere. At school I read Latin, Greek mythology, archae. But then I was not bad with the maths, physics, chemistry, biology. So at the end, it's a wonderful guy. You may have heard about him, Willie Pratt. He said, because our principal then J. Gaba, and then I had the VJs in Spain. These were classics guys, and I loved it. My first choice, I wanted to be the first Limba Chief Justice.
Oh, you wanted to venture
yes,
into law?
Yes, because then law, English, has never been my problem. I mean, you all know how I...
How did the transition come about? From a
It was Willie
sportsman,
Pratt who said,
he
told me, he said, there are many lawyers floating around, and you are a good pupil then in the sciences. Why not go and read the sciences? And he said, you can go to Prince of Wales today, you'll be there. Why? Because I was the complete sportsman, and they were all looking forward for the PO quartet, which has been a wonderful quartet. I think our time still remains set. No other, was Pratt, Box, Strong, Koroma, does it. And it was quite, we were very fast. I'd say about equally fast upstairs.
Which is a good thing.
Yes.
And you could have been a brilliant lawyer.
I could have.
Why didn't that come to pass? That dream?
No, I was influenced by Willie Pratt, the sciences, and all around. Then there were few guys around. When you do this, you were in the science stream, everybody would say, this guy brilliant. You see, but anyway, no regretted that I chose the sciences. But I still express myself in Latin. If you go to the courts when I'm giving evidence, I sometimes quote Latin and Greek and all these things. I make life very difficult for others sometimes. I just love it. Making life difficult. Making life difficult for others. You know, I mean, that's my chase. I'm a crime buster. I love it. Criminals bite your jugular, spill blood. I mean, you have hard men around who are in forensic pathology. We're hard guys. We just hate criminals, rapists, killers, murderers. They are my friends. I mean, cliques I love. I love going around Moab, Susan's Bay, Effort Lane, Calabar Town. Criminals are there. Mountain Court. I love those guys.
The way you're saying it, it's, you know, it's like an action movie. And like it's like the trailer of an action movie. Like criminals grabbing, biting.
I go for you.
It's
I enjoy it.
You enjoy it.
I love
you seem
it.
to be having so much fun.
Well, you all know that. The whole country knows that. I see Owiz Koroma and people say, the guy's around. I love that.
How did you get into pathology?
Well, I was told when I was a kid, I used to be the go-go boy, don't complain, very inquisitive, that inquiry thing. And I started cutting up cockroaches, tease, I catch them, run after lizards and all this. So they say, my father then was white Koroms, the black DC in those days. I'm not a first generation educated person. I found academia in that village, Mankore. Many of us went to school. If I start naming them, like Michael Koroma is the guy in charge of PCMA. And they were all around. David Koroma, tertiary education professor. We are always around. around this nation. We are Limbas, we own the country.
Did you study pathology in Sierra Leone?
No, 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 no.
Where did
There
you
was no
study?
medical school. No medical school. When I was an undergraduate in Odessa State Medical School on exchange program, I was interested in the club, pathology clubs. There are many clubs, obstetrics and gynecology, surgery and everything. But pathology was challenging. That's the crux of medicine. They say only the brilliant ones go there, but I was not brilliant, but I found myself there. So, I mean, everywhere you go is pathology. That's the crux. You do obstetrics, gynecology, you must talk to
In
the
which
pathologist.
country did you study?
And that was in the Soviet Union there.
Oh, the Soviet Union.
Yes, then Odessa.
Was that a scholarship?
Yes, with scholarship.
How did you benefit from that scholarship?
Oh, it's great. I say I went there on an exchange program.
Okay.
Yes, there was a Russian coming to do geology because of our landscape and everything. We have beautiful landscape. So then I went to do medicine, exchange program.
So you did pathology while someone else came here to do geology.
Okay, so I went geology.
Upon graduation, when you returned home, when you started working, how was your first experience?
Well,
the first case you had?
No, no, no. You have to do your house jobs. You rotate in surgery, obstetrics and gynecology, pediatrics, general medicine. And then I've always had pathology in my head, and all those areas. You start medicine today, you are in pathology. So I mean, you can't avoid that. That's the basis of
the
medicine.
first day you had to deal with a corpse. What was that experience like for you?
Well, I'll tell you that that was when I was an undergraduate in the club.
Wow.
I'll go there, wash bodies, prepare bodies for teaching, example, and then professors. I was in the farm.
The first day, weren't you scared?
No, 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 I've never been. I've been chasing lizards and other things. And I'm so
yeah, but a lizard and a dead human, it's
well, as you go on, first year, I was already in the club. I was interested. I wanted to be, I have that passion, I have to believe. It's not only the white man who can be. And before me, there were other good pathologists also. And then then I made up my mind. These were just pathologists. Sorry, I'm just that type. I say, I will go further. I will do forensic pathology.
Are you ever scared after a day at work?
No.
Are you ever scared when you go home? Do you look above your shoulders?
No, I don't. To be honest, I've never dreamt of any dead body.
Out of curiosity, do you believe in ghosts?
No. Those are, I did forensic psychiatry. I mean, I know all these things. They are illusions, tracing things. I did, you find yourself nanny and granny stories. Say when you're walking along an alley or a forest or going to the village, when the wind blows, something, you begin to have these apparitions and all these things. But I knew about all this because I read forensic pathology also, that this was just wind, environmental things, so I'm never scared. Scared of snakes? Up till now I'm not, because I go to exhume and I always find myself in hospitable terrains. When you go to, recently I went to Bagro Chiefdom, and in forensic you have to know every nook and cranny of your country. You call any village in Moyamba district, I will tell you. You have to be smart, to be in that game smart. Really smart.
When you handle your cases, definitely it involves you playing with intestines and all of those things.
Everything.
Yes. So as I'm saying it, even the picture on my mind is like, ew. When you have access to food, do you have all those pictures coming through your head?
No, I don't. In fact, my best is meat. I eat plenty of it. Fish is, I know it's nutrition-wise. Fish is good and everything, the phosphorus and everything, but I eat plenty of meat. That's just
your work. Does it affect your lifestyle, your life in any way whatsoever?
I will be honest with you people, right, that it does in some extent. If I say it in Creole,
in what ways?
you will only laugh. Some baby then they say, you did the body doctor, which I want to do. So I can miss some angel them.
Oh, wow.
I can miss some
oh, wow. So you can miss some targets.
Yeah, target them. Patch later then see.
But you're wearing a ring.
Yes, I'm
Mrs.
married.
Koroma.
I'm married.
How many kids do you have?
5.
5 kids.
I've been pretty busy.
Yes, with Mrs. Koroma. Has your work ever affected your family life?
Yes, but it's all the baby then can adjust. The wife does, so I'll come late. There are problems, especially I'm alone. Cases all over the place. From here, maybe they are waiting. Yesterday I was in Samalim. I had to take those corpses after the riot. I had to surrender them to authorities in Pujam. I'm with the law. I'm always in the courts. I love it myself. I love it, bubbly. I'm always busy, but sometimes the family does suffer. That's a fact. But they get used to it. I have a daughter who is interested in daddy's fame. So they call him every day, Owiz Koroma. Yeah, she's happy with that. very happy, yes, very happy, but they don't come close. It's quite nice. They are very intelligent animals. I mean, they love it.
When did you meet your wife?
Well, in England.
Before you started pathology?
I was already in pathology.
When you met her?
When I met her.
And you spoke about how the baby then came on away because they don't say the
no,
in her situation, what was it like knowing that she was a pathologist?
She was looking forward to meet him. She said, this one, a go chap. It's all over the place. We're cool and calculated, but she pinned me down. She said, well, I think say for steady.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so you were like a player.
I played midfield 6.
Right. Yeah, right. And then somebody grabbed you and said, okay,
yeah,
stay down.
I was settling there. That was, in fact, I'd already done pathology. I came home, worked, and I went to read forensic pathology. I love the challenge. When they say, that area is tough, I say, tough what? You go in there. People have been there, and they've done even better. Why shouldn't I?
So
why shouldn't a Sierra Leonean or an African be one of the 25 best in the world? You have to.
Oh, yes. I love that. I love the spirit.
Yes,
that's it. So that's what you've been pushing for. Would you say you've been able to successfully achieve that?
Well, yes, I came here. You know, these guys, JRR in Geneva, the IICI, that is the International Institute of Criminal Investigators at The Hague, will monitor pathologists all over the world. They'll monitor you for 20, 25 years, and then all of a sudden you receive a letter. We have selected you for training. That is in Turkey. I have hardcore criminals. They have a history, Koroma University in Turkey. So I was drafted there. And when you complete, you become the 25 best. After another 25 years, they'll choose people, others to come in. Because pathology is dynamic. It's the crux of crimes all over the place. If you take forensic pathology, you have 29 branches, from forensic accounting right down to limnology, where you study aquatic animals because they can also be used for killings, murders. And I'm interested in terrestrial animals. Technically, I won the DJ Clef on that because the luminary lawyers were saying that his toes were beaten by dogs and was picked up down there. I said no. terrestrial animals do not bite too off. They gnaw. GNAW, that was where I nailed them. I mean, they packed their bags left, and then the man was, I secured the conviction. They are waiting for him to be hanged. Had the death sentence. You don't go, you see, with due respect, you do not have the birthright, the constitutional right, or even the divine right to take the life of another person. I'll go hunting you. I'll bite every part of your anatomy if it's possible. I just don't like criminals. How can you rape a three-week or 3-month-old baby? For Christ's sake, you must be not only a psychiatric nut, those we call psychopaths. I love them. We talk. Why do you do that? They tell you. And the problem about Sierra Leone is since independence, when the white man left, to not have the office of the coroner, and so crime increases.
That is one thing.
That's the big thing, and the ISAT and the international community say they must recruit and fill that position.
Now, we're going to talk about all those. This is the Phebe Swill platform, and we're talking to Dr. Owiz Koroma. We'll take a break. A message from our sponsors, Rokel Commercial Bank and Sierra Pharmatech SPT. We are at the beautiful Golden Tulip Hotel, and this is where we're broadcasting from. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Sim Couple allow old and young to make deposits and withdraw cash from their account at any time and anywhere. With Rokel Commercial Bank SIM Couple, you can send and receive money at any place and any time. Rokel Commercial Bank don't make life better for we all.
All right, thank you for staying with us through that break. We're still at Golden Tulip Hotel, and we are talking to Dr. Owiz Koroma. Dr. Owiz, your job is a bit challenging. Well, not a bit challenging. It's quite challenging from every angle. Take us through some of the challenges you face being a pathologist in the country. Well, the only pathologist in the country.
Well, the only practicing pathologist. That will suit me well.
Okay.
Pathology has been neglected for quite a while now. Lack of equipment. Forget about my salary, zero. I get money when I go abroad to do controversial autopsies. And in Liberia, it's just my back door. I do most of the hospital as well as medical legal autopsies. There are two types of PMs, hospital ones, and then the medical legal, suspicious deaths, violent deaths, and all murders, you name it. Excusable homicide, justifiable homicides, manslaughter, all those big, highfalutin words. That's where I get money. And there is plenty of money in forensic pathology, but not in Africa.
So why are you still in Sierra Leone?
It's passion. Nobody. It's passion. I love it. I love the challenges. And I enjoy the attention, international attention. Home attention, jealousies, people say, all those things. I love that one too. It's a serious challenge. That is the socio-economic type of it. I can cope, I'm fine. I eat well, I dress well.
Yeah, yes, you dress well.
That's no problem about that. My problem is with the youths. I need a legacy to live. I want to train a pathologist. When I mean true, to the core, hard, it's purely academic. So people don't love coming there. It's really voluminous. There's plenty of subjects to cover. Because you cannot do surgical pathology, you must know surgery. You cannot do gynae and obs pathology, pediatric pathology, every discipline in medicine. So you have a specialist pathologist. Here I'm alone doing everything. In pathology alone, I do all the bone marrows in hematology and blood transfusion, medical microbiology, then the big boy, and that's histopathology and morbid anatomy. They know it who are medical students. Yeah. They say it. They will tell you. My colleagues will say, you have to be the big boys to get to that end. So that's, I have the aptitude for that. It came to me all very easily. You know, you have many subjects. Can as well ask you, why are you in broadcasting? Just kidding. You love it and that's passion. So ab initio, as young man, I just love challenges. Whether I know something I don't know, I go there. Because people have gone there, they've made it. Why not me?
And now you've ventured into it, but we still...
See, now, to come back to your question, no money to run pathology in this country. Now people are talking. And there was this, how do you call it, where Mawais, this night program. And vast majority of people were saying that you people, the whole nation is raping me, doing everything with no condition. If you see where I work, you all saw it. It's hot there. But I cope. And plenty of it is political. As a pathologist, you always are loggerheads with politicians.
Why is that the case?
But then they kill people them all over the world. And they don't want you to speak the truth. They commit crimes. Not here, all over the world. Ritual murders. Bumping people off the rail. People disappearing. Everywhere in the world. So it is always the pathologists. So they try hard to be in the good books of the pathologists, but I will never succumb to the whims and caprices of murderers and killers.
As you say this now, it gets to that point. Have you ever experienced death threats?
Oh yes, on a daily basis. Yeah, you will have. Say about that case. For example, who killed Ibrahim Samura? During the elections, obviously, people say if you're there, come on, but they know I'm tough in there, you can't come. And these threats come from people I know. I did forensic phonology. You talk, I know that you are a Temne. I talk, I know say you're not Creole boy. I talk, you talk, I know say you are Limba. The accent. We studied all those things. So that's sometimes we put people there from their voices. We round up criminals.
When you have these death threats, what do you do?
Nothing. I don't say a word.
Why?
I don't even tell anybody.
Do you feel scared?
I only tell the guy about triumph.
Do you feel scared in any way?
I say, you try it. And just tell me when you're coming. If you told me, then you're a coward. So come at any time. I'm ready for you. Say, I think, say it off. Okay, one day we will hit you down. So, I mean, it's not me alone, all over the world. We have threats.
And have you also had cases where people would try to use money or material things to influence you to make a decision in their favor?
Daily basis. Would have been a multi-millionaire now, or a billionaire in fact. There are big cases, you know, when people are trapped.
How do you respond to people who attempt to offer you bribes?
Owiz Koroma no the bend, Owiz Koroma no the take. That's how I say it. When I don't take, I don't beg. You take another person's life, they expect me to take money, wealth, and so on. I'm a Christian, practicing Christian, so I mean, I don't permit that. You do not have the divine right to kill anybody, let alone the constitutional right or birthright. You cannot take the life of another person. Some of us are born tough, and that's how life is. They're special breed. They give us all sorts of names. You read, you watch films. You say those guys here, they have special breed. Where there is fire, you go there. I mean, it's interesting. Go down the graves to exhume people, or the corpses or bones after 10, 20 or more years, then you find big snakes, big creatures down there. You have to cope with all those things. You're taught how to. and your expectation so high that you go down the grave, there's something else there. I mean, we cope with all those things, and I've been coping fully well. And the training on disasters. Ebola was no problem for me. I survived. The mudslide, I was the only guy you were seeing. There's a whole BBC documentary on me. 2.5 days, no sleep, no nothing, but I coped. With minimum equipment, place not well equipped. Country was not ready for all those things. But I was able to cope with the guys around me, and people came on board, other doctors from other disciplines, sympathizers, people who are real Sierra Leoneans came to help. And then the next, of course, the Commission of Inquiry will tell us about the other side of things. No one paid me a dime, but I did it for my country. I'm fine. I'm here because you take me as a Sierra Leonean who has worked so hard for the country. And I love teaching. And my other passion, of course, everybody knows, is oncology, cancer.
Yes,
yeah, I mean, that's it. So I received the first award from the incumbent now, in the person of His Excellency, the President, retired Brigadier Madabio, gave me the first award. That's what we love. It's not the money. It's acknowledgement, acceptance that you're great. I love it.
With all that you say, Dr. Koroma, you sound like a man of integrity. So it comes to mind that aside from the cause of pathology being difficult and challenging, it also requires integrity.
Integrity, credibility first, respect and integrity.
Are you worried about a potential replacement for you in the area of integrity? Because what you do, if you agree to bend and accept bribes from people, sometimes people would not even know. And then you become so wealthy, but things go radically wrong.
At the end, that is how
So are you worried about the
integrity of others? Now it's the first time in the history of Sierra Leone, somebody has been assigned to the Department of Pathology to be trained in the person of Dr. Kalawa, another Limba guy. I taught at the medical school. You will recruit and people will just spend a couple of weeks. No money. No money. It's just book, cutting up, training, talking and all these things. So guys are going to obstetrics and gynecology or pediatrics or surgery. They make money. And these guys started medical school together. And some have cars they can change. So guys just run away because no motivation, no incentives. What they do in Europe is that you paid 4 or 5 times house officer or senior house officer, registrar, senior registrar, consultant. You paid more than the average salary. And free cars, free homes. And then your wife will have something like inconvenience allowance. When you don't see her for some time, you're in the bush doing, or if there is war, you're there. Like the mudslide we had, the Ebola, the flood. And you don't go home. And you are at the highest risk. I would have contracted Ebola, or even during the mudslide. 2.5 days to bury the quantum of dead bodies you saw. And then no social psychiatric therapy. And we don't have in this country, and no one talks to me. But somebody must be talking to me. Kusho, how you did do that case, nothing. In fact, people challenge you in the streets. But left we buy no anything. Because could you imagine that? But how can you live? No. Well, now I've left a legacy. We've left a legacy in cancer. Now we are number 184 Global Can. We have our own registry which I developed. I spent 12 years. Now our data is acceptable everywhere in the world, and then we are number 33 African Cancer Registry Network, and I'm happy. I mean, no one will change that. I'm in cancer, so that's what I need.
With all that you have mentioned, it paints a picture of pathology being a very challenging thing and not financially rewarding. So how would you encourage young people and other people in the sciences to come into doing pathology?
The interesting thing about it is that they want to come in. They're ready to come in. You won't tell them. They want to come in because there is plenty in there for them, especially subspecialties. There so many. But what will be the stumbling block is money. Money. All I can tell them, forget about money. The world evolves. There are changes.
How do we change it and improve that field?
It's the mentality, and governance has a lot to do with that. Politicians must understand. And I must say, it's no politics. This new direction is taking stage, going through the correct direction. They are doing something, the infrastructure-wise, and then the training of, look after the commemoration in the cancer. The first lady was able to get 10 scholarships. So now, and these people, the first batch left, are leaving today, Saturday.
So now looking at pathology itself, what should government do to encourage more people to come and study pathology and come into the field
first,
of
there must the building alone must be attractive. The mortuaries must be attractive. They must be built. There is plenty of money for that, and people have not been using the money. And even some doctors who are these CMOs and other things will rather divert the money. But the Commission of Inquiry will tell you why. I won't say anything more than that. You can see where the money is gone. And then, so people will not come when there is no money. The world is evolving. It's money, but you have to have the passion. That is what I possess, is passion. I just love
Dr. Owiz Koroma has passion for what he is doing. Yeah. Let's take that as it is for now. We're still at Golden Tulip Hotel. It's time for a break. Let's take a message from our sponsors, Rokel Commercial Bank and Sierra Pharmatech SPT.
Sim couple allow old and young to make deposit and withdraw cash from their account at any time and anywhere. With Rokel Commercial Bank SIM couple, you can send and receive money at any place and any time. Rokel Commercial Bank don't make life better for we all.
Okay, welcome back from that commercial break. We're still at Golden Tulip Hotel and we are talking to Dr. Owiz Koroma. Dr. Owiz, what has been your greatest achievement in life?
Well, it's to be the first forensic pathologist in Sierra Leone. That is simple. So others will emulate or follow, so we'll have. So that will be able to fight crime, and then because there are many branches in there. Well, forensic anthropology, that is the study of skeletal remains, been my wish, because from a single bone, I'll be able to beef it up and say that is Aminata Sisi, who died such time, all these techniques. So I've been, but it's God's gift. So that expertise has attracted me. I've gone to Europe, to many other places to work. That is mass graves and so forth. So reconstruction of this I've been able. So I love that. I enjoyed that, and so that has been great. And the others are these big cases here I've been able to solve. One is the Kenema case, Alima. Yes, so people thought was sexually abused by some Lebanese and died. I was able to say, well, it's not that case. She died from diabetic coma. It was a lot of ketone bodies, so diabetic ketoacidosis. I was able to establish that. And then they asked for second opinion abroad, and they brought some professors who couldn't even lace the Sierra Leonean shoes. And that was the end of the matter, and people became very much unapologetic. They wanted not to do that, and the typical Sierra Leonean. So that was high, and people knew that there was a new sheriff in town. There's a guy going out there, so that was clear. And then, of course, the rebel war. We had David Crane, who thinks very highly of me when he's now lecturing, professor of law at Harvard. He will always quote. And the Alima case now is good. They are using it as case study. Finally, a law at Phebe College. When they choose some of your cases for final year, then that's good. You feel good. And they tell you that you are the best. And that's what people tell me. And then I do more and more and more, and I steady myself down. So, Mosquito, Sambokare, I did that. Sebana Sanko, I did that. They were top internationally, so no one can get rid of me. You cannot repeat that. There will only be one mosquito, one Sambokari, one Sebana Sanko, and one Inganoman. I was flown on a 500-seater jet from Sierra Leone to go to Senegal to do that autopsy, and I did it. And so that's some sober world record. So I'm fine. No other pathologist ever will do those cases, because those cases will never come back. And I see, so those are big cases as top of the notch.
You do have a lot of accomplishments, though, Dr. Koroma. What have you ever had regrets in life?
I will tell you, no, because I love what I'm doing. I love this change from wanting to be a lawyer to a scientist. So I'm fine with what.
Apart from your career, though, do you have things you sometimes sit back and think, well, I could have done this a bit differently in your life?
Oh yes, many things. I could have approached this.
Give us some of those things.
Well,
what are some of those?
one thing, I wanted to be the best footballer in Sierra Leone. What I couldn't. In fact,
who beat you to that?
Many, thousands.
Yeah, because you were playing back then.
Oh yes, but then somebody just. In fact, I made that individual great, and that was Kamadu Mbuya.
So he beat you to that?
Yes, I mean, the man was a fantastic striker. I'll feed him with balls, then he collects on his chest. Everybody knows this one, how Kamadu was. And the interesting thing was that I did his autopsy when he died. And my biggest regret is that we don't have archives in this country to tell the younger ones that Kamadu Mbuya was the best footballer I've ever seen. There were good ones we all emulated before us. The Anthony Brown teacher, we used to call those guys, the Sylvanus Morris, Easy Devil, and all this, Abu Kungbata, Abu Wilson. These were brilliant guys, but Kamadu Mbuya was wonderful. So he was not treated well. Footballers then were not treated well. And that's a big thing. For me, I still feel, I think I should have been treated by now on that level. Say, this guy has been playing ball fine, so let's give him this and that. But all my things coming out of medicine, what I do and so forth. Sometimes it's nice to go somewhere else, because I've always thought I was the complete all-rounder. It's my own feeling. Can't say anything about that. because I was in sports, was in academia. I use every part of my anatomy to satisfy this country. Yes. So, regrets, yes, when it comes to that, the way you are treated sometimes, the law courts, you go there, you sit, people wait until somebody comes. Oh, now he's there and that. No, it should not happen. When you've attained some level, they must know that you are around. I mean, they help you out because it's being done somewhere else. You say, you go to Nigeria, say, Ogama. India, you go to Ghana, it's the same thing. But here they say, who cares? It's something about money, money, money. And that's very regrettable. Sometimes I begin to say, why was I born in this type of society? And that's a serious regret. But I'm a Sierra Leonean and I have no choice in that matter. It's the Almighty God who does everything, who says yes. And I take after the mudslide. And no one came to say, Owiz. And I said, everybody just shied away. And that was sad. That was very sad. I said, what have I done? And then the big guys spending the money all over, building houses, they attracted attention. Politicians attracted attention. The military attracted. You all know the story. Come on. I mean, you see, sometimes you sit down and say, what the hell is happening in this country?
Dr. Koroma, let me use this opportunity on behalf of my team, the Phebe Swill platform in the country, to say thank you very much for your services rendered to Sierra Leone.
Thank you.
It's noticeable and it's acknowledged.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Dr. Owiz, again, yes, we all don't live forever. That's the sad part of life.
Yes.
We all get to pass on someday, sometime, somewhere.
Indeed, yes.
Upon your death, what would you want Sierra Leoneans to remember you about? What should they use when they think about Dr. Owiz?
If you think about me, you think about cancer. That's it. It's been killing people. I've been able to break the myth, the taboo, the silence, the shame, the myths. I've been on the television so many times, up late at night, and I've done everything. And now the response is just wonderful. So I love that, and I believe.
How should we celebrate you as a country?
I say just simple. So to say that we had very good, resilient citizens who kept the fire burning. Because Sierra Leone is ours, and we are all Sierra Leoneans. I think I love people to say, Owiz Koroma, cancer, Owiz Koroma, mudslide, disasters, and so forth. It's great to be there because people now, the youths now, would like to be in my shoes. They say, well, if Owiz can do that, somebody else, we too can do that. I am and I will.
Okay, let me open the floor to the audience now to have an interaction with you. Dr. Owiz Koroma is all yours for your questions and your comments.
Sir, as you being the first forensic pathologist, what motivating message you have for young ones that would like to be like you in the future?
Oh, well, with me, just say that forensic pathology is just another subject. It's just another life, another occupation. So if you study hard, you work at it, you'll be perhaps 100 times better than I am. And by then, things would have changed. Your earning capacity would have been different and many things. You come on board because forensic pathology is the order of the day. You hear the news everywhere in the world. So it's nice to have another Sierra Leone like me. And I believe so. And I'll be very happy to see one before I leave this planet Earth.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, Dr. Koroma, for the splendid work you are doing in this country and for even making Sierra Leone to see the truth. I want to thank you for that. As a medical student, I've been actually featured by Dr. Moses in the histopathology department.
Indeed.
To be one. And I was actually thinking in future to be in the pathologist, but the questions that do come to my mind are, why should I stop communicating with people that are alive than those that are dead? Like what you do communicate mostly with the dead people. So I just see it as a crazy, but due to your speech, actually, you have motivated me and strengthened me that it goes beyond that, especially when it comes to this oncology, the neoplasia, those cancer cells. Actually, it's a key, because when Dr. Kalawa went to the department where you are, I do provoke him that you actually stop communicating with even the living people. You have communicated with the dead people. So even the scholarship that was given to him by the first lady to do this oncology at Indian.
He win the second batch.
Yeah. So I asked him, man, so have you switched over your career from a pathology to an oncology? He said there is no pathology without oncology. That's what he told me. So really, it's an interesting field, and I'm proud, and I promise to join the team as soon as
I'm very happy about that. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
wow.
And the point is this, from here you go to me, I'll be able to recruit you to one of the branches that is suffering, and that is pediatric pathologist. The kids die from Burkitt's lymphoma. No one to do bone marrows on them, leukemias, so call them liquid cancers. I'm very strong in that area. So if you come on board, I might just train you on some of those skills, how to do bone marrow. So we deal with the living many times, because it is the dead that teaches the living. You get all your diagnosis.
Exactly.
Yes.
So now we have a mentor and a mentee relationship emerging from the Phebe Swill platform. Yes, my dear, that's a success story.
Okay, then once Mama from Albert Academy.
Yes.
And then Mr. Owiz Koroma, as you earlier said, you have been turning back from bribery and all other sorts of corruption.
Indeed.
And then for justice to prevail for the dead. And then my question here is, what are the support you are getting from the government for justice to prevail in relation to
that is simple, straightforward, it's very little. You know that, we all know that. That's why people are shying away. No salaries, we all know. Medical students know. The infrastructure alone. But now, I said, with this new direction, things have started. The mere fact they could find scholarships to help is a big motivation. So I'm waiting, I'm praying to the Almighty God to give me the strength and time for these young ones to come back. Then I quit the scene quietly. It's very, very challenging and very exhausting.
Okay, then earlier you said you have the use of playing football for the youngsters, number 6, and we already know is the midfielder sharing the ball between the flankers, the attackers, and defenders. And then since the 60s, you have been playing for Sierra Leone.
Yes,
Up to date, Sierra Leone have not yet taken part in African Nations Cup, not yet talking about World Cup. What's your own take about that?
Well, my take on that is because of the support, the politics came in and the whole game was going, but now it's picking up again. And during our own time, Tista, we went up to Zone 2, if you could all remember. Then we left for study, because you're not gaining anything. I had to leave an exchange program to Odessa, and I'm paying back in an even better way, being a doctor. But if you could remember, Socrates of Brazil was a pediatrician, where he camped in Brazil. You see, because he had all the facilities and everything to play soccer. But now you cannot, you are alone. How can you be playing, going to the field and doing other things? Socrates is a great example, and there are many guys too in Sierra Leone, like Walwyn Mezga, Nyland, and those chaps who played football, but no support. You support yourself and you support your team and you do things for them. and there's not much money. But I love it this way. I'm fine, and I will tell you, because I know pathology, I'm a rich person. That's my own thing. I feel I'm good, I'm rich, I'm here with you all, and that's why the gentleman who is interested, you just come. You come a day, you will stay. That Allah will tell you how I'm just gifted, just gifted.
Well, as we've come to this point, Dr. Owiz Koroma, I'd like to say thank you very much for being on my platform. It's been an honor to talk to such a great man like you.
And I feel honored too. Thank you very much.
And thank you all for being here. Thanks to you guys for watching and listening to the Phebe Swill platform. Dr. Owiz, you are a hero. Sierra Leone appreciates you and we love you.
Thank you.
Thank you and cheers. That's all for today's episode.
Yes. God bless you.